Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic, known classics. This is episode number 32, 45, Doubleshot 31, 45. Now we have a X-Force trade, yes, an X-Force trade, plus a Wolverine trade. Now this trade for X-Force is from the more recent run. Like in the case of X-Factor, I was hoping to finish up Volume 1, but that just hasn't happened yet, so I figured, oh, book's out, this app has it, so why not? This is X-Force by Geoffrey Thorne, Volume 1, Fractures. Now, some people probably raising an eyebrow like, really? Geoffrey Thorne, the guy who wrote the previous volume for Green Lantern, a volume that was very mixedly received, and they give him X-Force. And, so, your lineup is interesting. Yeah, by the way, yes, Deadpool is in the cover, but he didn't show, but he's not, in the first issue. Oh, no. He comes a bit later. Yes, Geoffrey Thorne is the writer of this book, and, of course, you have Marcus 2, who is the artist. The cover art is Steven Zavia and Brian Vizzotta, issue 1. The rest of the book is done. Basically, we collect the first 5 issues. I think this is X-Force Volume 8. Artwork by Rain Bernito. And this is the volume where the final issue was the 300th issue of the series. So, first off, will Monsters Dwell, a nod to the actual book. So, basically, we have these various X-Men from the 80s fighting off against the Brood, and we see Forge looking so bored, and him being jealous of the fact that the woman he loves. Because here's the thing about Forge, he has still not gotten over Storm. Now, in publication-wise, this has been going on since the 1980s. So for over 40 years, he has not gotten over Storm at all. Despite the fact she has gotten over him. She has moved beyond him. He has not. The only woman he's ever slept with is Mystique. And that was in the first volume of X-Factor. So then he's contacted by presumably a hologram of Beast before he was Beast, and Forge is little channeling stuff. And then, of course, he pays a visit to... I'm not sure who this is supposed to be. Oh, it's Tessa Sage. Yep. He basically recruits her, gets her an outfit to join the team. Of course, these two are longtime X-Men characters. Now, these two are not big-name X-Men characters, but they're long-time characters of the franchise. And then, of course, we're joined by Rachel Summers, a.k.a. Askin, and Betsy Braddock, a.k.a. Captain Britain, who is not wearing her Captain Britain costume here. Nope. Yeah, they give her an X-Force costume. So I think she's supposed to be Captain Britain. Something Teeny Howard set up in here. Nope, no one Captain Britain. Basically, she is recruited at the Braddock estate to join them. But okay, fair enough. No Deadpool. Deadpool joins them later. And they're in Massachusetts. You know what's quite interesting about this X-Force team? It is something that Forge now built his Dallas Plaza to use as their base operation. That would be perfect. Nope, Warren Ellis had to have blow it up during his brief run for Astonishing X-Men. So, there's a little bit of electricity, and it's Surge. Yes, Surge, who hasn't done a lot in the last 20 years. It seems like since New X-Men, this woman has done practically been a minor character for the last 20 years. I'm not kidding about that, because she is one of those characters that you have all these great X-Men characters, and she first showed up in the 2000s. She had a big role in New X-Men. Excuse me. When it was written by, first it was done by the writers who did New Mutants Volume 2 for the first 19 issues, and then it became New X-Men by Chris Joseph, Craig Kyle. Great role in that book, and then nothing. Once the book ended, it's like the writers of the X books completely forgot about this character. There's even a joke I remember from the New X-Men book asking her if she washed her gloves. Yes, seriously. It's almost like, and then of course, oh yeah, because she's, apparently, here's something else people forgot about this character, something she existed, the fact she's Japanese. Yes, one of the very few Japanese X-Men. Along with people like Sunfire, I believe also one of his, I think there's also like several, but it was several, not many. And they fight off against these other people, then Deadpool gets recruited, which of course I'm sure probably Betsy is not happy about that at all. Excuse me. And Deadpool is like loosely involved. And that's just issue 1. And then they go on another mission. Of course, their Blackbird is destroyed. Yes, it is in fact destroyed. And they have to wander through the jungle for a bit while they come across a alternate version of, I'm guessing basically it's Wakandan. Yes, where they do bring up T'Challa, but this queen has no idea who the heck he is. Excuse me, the king. Yeah, he has no idea who he is. Because I think they're an alternate timeline. And then they end up someplace else where it is, where they apparently run into Nukon, the son of the Wizard and Miss America. Yes. Like, let's have X-Force fight basically an obscure character who has not done much in over 30 years. Yes, it's like Geoffrey Thorne is pulling characters out of a box that have been buried for years with this book. Yeah, he's here for like a few issues. Yes. And after dealing with him, and then, like, and then now they remember, oh yeah, Betsy's supposed to be Captain Britain. Because here she is. 4 issues in, they remember she's Captain Britain. And then they run into some bugs, continue battling Nucleon, and then they come across, oh my gosh, they come across the Man-Thing. I'm like, that is awesome. And because it's all Nexus Guardian thing. And then they encounter an alternate version of the Avengers where it's basically an Egyptian Thor, a white Black Panther. No, he's not white in the outfit. It's just white. We have White Panther, a weird version of Captain America, what looks like to be a silver Iron Man, and Storm. And the thing is, Storm tells him, like, you dare come back here? Like, I gave you a chance. Forge is like, what the heck are you talking about, Oro? Like, you probably think we were in love, but we never had a child. Yeah, they're an alternate timeline, alright? I am life like Iron Phoenix, Bell cease. So apparently this is not Thor, this is Horus. Yes. So they worship it, and of course they still do with Nucleon. And they team up with this Ultra Reality Avengers to finally finish him. And the book ends with basically a bill to stop Armageddon's. And the book ends with Sage quitting. 5 issues in, she quits. Very interesting. Nothing really wrong with this book per se. I'd say it's probably better handled than, let's say, a book like Green Lantern. At least not focusing on a teenager. Focus on a teen lantern. Yeah. So, I give that book a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is Wolverine, Deep Cut. Written by Chris Claremont. Yes, this collects the 5-issue miniseries Deep Cut, plus they threw in here Uncanny X-Men 246 and 251 because apparently this is Wolverine's off-screen adventure that he had, where he encounters the Marauders in this book and fights them, and there's references to the Mutant Massacre. This is by far another one of these miniseries where basically Mar brings back one of these old school writers because, the current books aren't selling because people miss basically the old school writers. Let's just have them write these miniseries that fill in gaps. And yes, he does have a counter with I think it was Sabretooth in here as well. Yeah, you have Edgar Salinger on the artwork. Yeah, at first they threw in 246 in here just to explain where the heck this book takes place. And then as a bookend, they threw in 251 because this is like Wolverine's off-screen adventure because this is probably something that was teased and like 246. So, yeah. So, Wolverine is classic John Byrne costume, fights Sabretooth. He, of course, yes, he fights the Marauders, and he gets to a fight with Storm. But don't worry, nothing physical. Yeah. But this book is excellent. I definitely recommend checking the book out. Of course, the book does a really good job explaining like this little off-screen adventure. And I'm going to give this book a 10 out of 10. The book is just awesome. Yep. So yeah, that is pretty much it particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, notifications. Next up is Doctor Who. Okay, thanks for you. Bye.